Hey there, my fellow rejects. This is Rabid, and I want to talk about the different classes in Warhammer 40k Darktide and answer the question, which class should I play first? In addition to that, I want to give some recommendations on which weapons to level up and train up on first as well. This is also going to be a really great kind of informational video for people that are also coming back to the game when they've been away for a long time. So yeah, stay here and watch the whole video. You'll get something great out of it. And to start things off, we're going to talk about the Ogryn first. I'm going to focus on the classes I think can excel really well in melee. So the Ogryn. Oh my god, I need some water. Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so the Ogryn swings really big weapons. They can hit a lot of enemies at once, and they're really good at like stunning and doing crowd control. They're kind of like if you've ever played like an MMO before, they're like a tank where they can like draw aggro off of other teammates and have the enemies focus on them. So that's kind of like their role in this game. Each class has the capability to do ranged combat, but in this game, their true strength lies in just taking their melee weapon and hitting the heretics left and right until there's like nothing left. Going ooga booga, right? So just to give you a little preview of weapons that they can use, they get a club and a shield, a pickaxe, a power maul, a regular club, and they get a knife and a latrine shovel. But the weapons that you should concentrate on first when you are able to get access to them, because like some of these, I don't think you can unlock them right away. You need to level up. Uh, so like once you are able to unlock them, I'd say focus on these three right here. The first one being the power maul. It has this really cool activated ability where you can like empower it, and then you can swing it, and whatever it hits, a little like shock force field will be emitted from the weapon. It can deal a lot of damage to single targets when you use that power to hit. The next one, not a lot of people would probably agree with these two, but I happen to have a lot of success with a pickaxe. This thing can hit pretty hard, and it has this cool little alternate attack where like it can hook one target towards you, and it kind of like drags and stuns them a little bit. And you can use that to disrupt an attack pattern of an enemy, and you could just like wail on them. The last one I recommend to level up first is the Battle Maul and Slap Shield. Now, with this weapon, you can hit armored enemies really good. It can also, depending on the blessings you have, you can decrease their defenses, and it can like kind of just bypass the armor because you're pretty much crushing them, and you can like make them bleed. Um, as far as like the rest of these other weapons go, I wouldn't recommend focusing on leveling them up first because they're just not great. Like, they won't be able to deal as much damage as these three can. But what about ranged weapons, right? Well, that's very limited. They got this like crappy auto semi-ish good. I mean, it's not even good. Let's be real. This weapon just sucks. It's a auto like I think it's like supposed to be an auto shotgun. Uh, the recoil is crazy bad and doesn't even deal that much damage. You can also consider using the heavy stubber, but I feel like it the weapon spread on this one's like all over the place. Like after like maybe 10 meters, it just goes wild. Has a lot of ammo though. But the next thing we can use for the Ogryn is the Rumbler. This is a single shot grenade launcher. One of the best weapons that the Ogryn can use for ranged combat. Deals a lot of damage, and when it detonates, it like knocks back a lot of stuff. The same can be said of the Grenadier Gauntlet. It's magazine fed, and it shoots pretty much the same grenade as like the Rumbler does, but it's just magazine fed. It doesn't deal as much damage, but it has a really big like knockdown effect for anything that does happen to get hit by it. The next one is the heavy stubber, and if I had to choose this and the heavy stubber there, or oh wait, they're both heavy stubber. Where's the other one? Oh wait, the twin link. This is the twin link heavy stubber. I always get these two mixed up, but if I had to choose one of these, I would go with a heavy stubber. I think this one fires a little bit slower, but it feels more impactful and more accurate. So, I mean, both kind of suck, but if you wanted a full auto weapon, I'd say the heavy stubber would be better. But the best weapon that you should be using is probably going to be the Rumbler. Where is the other one? There's like one more. Oh, the kickback. There it was at the top of the list. So if you're not using the Rumbler, you're probably going to want to be using the kickback. And the kickback is a single shot shotgun shell. It's really good. And it does a lot of damage. So the top three is going to be a kickback, the Rumbler, or the Grenadier Gauntlet. So those are the three I would concentrate on first out of the rest of the lineup here. Okay. So that's the brief overview of what you can expect from the Ogryn. So let's just change the operative, and we're going to talk about where is the Zealot. Here we go. So let's talk about the Zealot. So the Zealot, they're really good at melee combat too, just like the Ogryn. They can hit a lot of enemies all at once, and depending on their build, depending on the build that you choose, you can deal a significant amount of damage to single targets. We're talking like boss level targets, or even mini boss level targets. Because like depending on how you build this thing, you can either deal a lot of damage to a lot of things and do crowd control, or you can deal a lot of damage to one thing. So with the Zealot, they're a pretty fast and nimble fighter. They typically can take a lot of punishment, and the more damage they take, they can use that to empower and make their attacks even more deadly, right? Oh yeah, there's one other thing. They can also provide a stunning effect with their ability. So if you go that route, you can stun and recover toughness for you and your team. So they're very, very light on support in that manner, but uh, they just really excel at close range combat because they can like dash in, hit things, or they can go into stealth mode and just like stab something in the back and deal like a ton of damage, right? Alright, so weapons. So for the Zealot, you start to get access to the general non-class based weapons, and we can kind of talk about those first. So what you're going to see is a assault chainsword, combat blade, dueling sword, what else? Devil's claw sword, combat axe, tactical axe, and assault chain axe. Alright, so let's start with the chain weapons. Uh, they're not all that good because they have this animation, right? Everybody knows the sound of like the chain weapon revving up, right? Either you've seen videos of it or you've played other games that have a chain weapon like Space Marine. Now, I don't recommend you level these up first because it traps you in this like animation, right? When you use the alternate attack for it, it traps you in this animation and it can take a few seconds for the revving to complete as you're hitting a heretic. And this being a very fast-paced game, it's going to throw a lot of enemies at you at once. And once you're locked in there, you're getting free hits on you by the enemy. So it's great for like single target removal. They have high damage in that regard. But man, you gotta be really careful when you're doing it though. So out of all the chain weapons, I wouldn't recommend really using them. The Heavy Eviscerator is class specific to the Zealot. It's really slow and it just takes a long time for you to like recover from a hit and then swing again. Um, Out of the three, though, if you really wanted to use a chain weapon, I'd just go with the chain sword. Fast, light attacks, and if you do need to take down something big, you can rev it up with the regular chain sword. But what about the other stuff, right? Well, the combat blade's really good. It's great at doing single target damage. A lot of people would say, "Hey, the combat blade is actually really nice." The other thing with this though is that it doesn't do too well with like large hordes because you're obviously using a knife. You gotta get closer to them. You might get a little overwhelmed at first because your reach with this weapon is a lot shorter, compared to something like a sword, right? So it could be a decent weapon later down the line once you get a little bit more experience. But then it becomes a really good weapon to use once you've gotten a lot of experience in melee combat and you're trying to push into the higher difficulty levels. Because this thing can mess up armored targets pretty well when you do a powered attack with it. Next one is the dueling sword. It's kind of just good on any class that can use it. Like this thing's been nerfed into the ground several times, but it's still, even after getting nerfed, it's still very good. It penetrates armor really well, and it's just still good. You can parry attacks as well as the alternate attack pattern, and you just gotta be careful with it. If multiple things are attacking you, it's just gonna parry the very first attack that hits you, and you're still taking full damage for anything else that hits you at the same time. Let's see, there's a few more actually for general weapons. Devil's Claw Sword, it can also parry as well, but the base attack on this thing sucks ass. I don't expect anyone to, like, an average player, I don't expect them to take it into, like, Damnation or Orc and surviving very long with it. It's just not that good. Low damage. And even the heavy attack, when you put some muscle into it, it still doesn't do quite a lot. It's still pretty weak. I don't know why. It just sucks. I wouldn't waste my time on that when I'm starting new, right? So the next one is going to be the combat axe and the tactical axe. They are kind of similar. The combat axe swings a lot slower compared to the tactical axe. So if I had to choose one over the other, it's going to be the tactical axe, or the tac axe for short. This thing can hit multiple targets, and when it does hit single target, you're going to be like wailing on them left and right. Really fast attack patterns. Class specific weapons, though, is the Crusher. Some people really like it, but I don't. It doesn't like do a whole lot of damage, but it can crowd control pretty well. You can like smack things around. I think it also has like a. It might have a powered up attack, but I'm not 100% sure. But we could probably just like check that out real quick. We can, if you go this way. If you want to test stuff out, you can always just go here to talk to Stephanie or whatever her name is. She's a psyker. Go to the Psycharium, or Psychanium. Go to the meat grinder. And if you're wondering about like different game modes, how to level up, and all that, you can check out my other video that I have in the tips playlist. It's a comprehensive guide to get you, started in the game, and then it goes over like how to level up proficiently, survival tactics, things like that. But let's see. Oh, it does have a powered up ability. Okay. See, it doesn't do very much. I mean, granted, we're hitting the big armored guy. Well, let's see. What about this? I've seen things that can hit better than this. But yeah, that's the boomstick without the explosiveness of a shotgun. Alright, leave the Psychanium. And then the next thing that this class has access to is a Thunder Hammer. You might have seen it if you played Space Marine 1 and 2. It's pretty fun to use at lower difficulty levels like Heresy and below. But I wouldn't recommend taking this out on Damnation or higher. Let me see if I can find it. By itself, the basic attacks only really hit one target, and in order to hit multiple targets, you're going to need to do a heavy attack, so you need to wind up your attack. You gotta like hold down the attack button, it winds up, you let it go. And because, like I mentioned earlier, this game is like so fast paced, right? It's gonna take forever for that hit to wind up and land, and by that time you're probably taking a lot of hits and you might go down. But it also has a power attack like the Crusher. great at doing significant amounts of damage to a single target. If you get a headshot on an Ogryn in Heresy difficulty, I'm pretty sure you can like one hit kill them. But I wouldn't recommend focusing on this. However, my number one pick though is going to be the Relic Blade, and this weapon is really good. You can empower it just like the Thunder Hammer and the Crusher. However, this will just enable it to slice and dice through the heretics even better, right, than its basic attacks. Basic attacks still do pretty good fast damage, but if you empower this thing with the alternate attack, it'll just make it slice through them a lot easier. And this will allow you to hit armored opponents as well. It's a really good sword. So as soon as you can unlock the Relic Blade, just level that up. Now, looking for pick 2 and 3, I would say the Dueling Sword is pretty good for this class. I think from what I understand and from what I hear from other people, this class just has like an innate X amount of like critical strike chance, and the Dueling Sword thrives off of that, especially if you can hit the weak points. Oh, you're going to deal a lot of damage. So yeah. Next one is going to be the Combat Blade. But I would still say you kind of want to push that off towards the end when you feel a little more comfortable with melee combat. Again, because it's a short range weapon, you might feel a little overwhelmed in combat because the game's typically gonna send a lot of enemies at you all at once, right? Okay, but what about the ranged weapons? They do get access to a lot of generic weapons as well. So we can start with those. The revolver, double barrel shotgun, braced braced autogun, not a shotgun, don't know why. Just a tube fed shotgun, fully automatic auto gun. I think it was just, oh no, this is a burst fire and single shot variant. And the bolt gun, auto pistol, is pretty much like an Uzi. I think the recon las gun is also a generic weapon. Heavy las pistol, bolt pistol. So out of all of these, if I were to recommend something to start with first, I would say it's going to be the recon las gun. It shoots hella fast, and you can easily take care of a group of heretics with this. But when it comes to fighting armored opponents, it's not going to be too good. So as a starting weapon, this is a great thing to play around with. But now we got like armored opponents to worry about. You're gonna want to look into using like the bolt pistol, bolt gun, and oh yeah, the flamethrower. The flamethrower is also pretty good, especially if you can like lure the heretics into like a narrow hallway or corridor. Oh man, this thing is gonna like pretty much turn everything into a crisp. Barbecue those heretics. You can also use the revolver, but I wouldn't recommend it because it takes forever to reload. It does it like one at a time. I mean, it does deal a significant amount of damage. If you hit their weak points, you're going to be taking things down pretty quick. But the reload speed is egregious. Everything else, though, it's pretty garbage, except for the um, heavy last pistol. It shoots fast and it hits pretty hard. So those are like the top picks in my books. So yeah. See anything else about the Zealot? Nope. Zealot's all done. All right, so let's now move into the last class that I think excels pretty good in melee. Whereas my cursor's right on it. The Arbitrator. So the Arbitrator is the first DLC class for this game. So if you want to try it out, unfortunately you gotta pay money for it. So yeah, it shouldn't be too much though. It's like I forget what it is, like maybe $10 or $15 USD. Um, but yeah, they're pretty fun. They're pretty tanky. They can crowd control pretty good. They got where's my dog? Hello, this is my dog. Woof woof. His name is Urban. If you haven't noticed already, I named these two off of the two people that played Judge Dredd from the Dredd movies. So Stallone and then Urban over there. Yeah, okay. Alright, so with the Arbitrator, they have a few abilities that revolve around their doggy, helping them out, empowering them. They can do stun, they can electrocute, they can cause things to bleed. But then the Arbitrator themselves, they also have these activated abilities where they can like reduce your damage taken. You can dash and hit things, or you can like throw out a shock mine that like stuns everything in a big area, big radius, and they're pretty fun. As far as their weapons goes, they also have access to all the generic weapons, and I don't think that's the complete full list. Masteries. The Shock Maul, that one is kind of tied to only a couple of classes, not exactly generic. But this thing, it's pretty cool. It can shock a single target and deal damage. However, it does lock you into a very long animation. Some people may say that this is like one of the best weapons you can equip on them besides their class specific stuff. But I don't really like weapons that lock you into long animation, especially when crap is hitting the fan and you need to like be super nimble and agile. I wouldn't want to be stuck with it. But it hits really fast though. I don't know if I have that one. Let me see. Oh, I do. It's right here. I thought I did. That's why I went to the other menu. So that's what it looks like. Pretty cool. I haven't used the attack axe with them yet, but I imagine it could be pretty effective in their hands as well. They want to be kind of mobile, and the attack axe excels in the hands of someone that's pretty nimble and agile. However, their class-specific stuff is really, really good. Let's start with our BD's Shock Ball. So depending on the blessings that you take, you can hit something, and then if you keep hitting it, you're just gonna make them get hurt a lot easier because you're gonna be decreasing their defenses. And this thing hits fast, hits hard. The shock wall and suppression shield, though, is pretty nifty. You can use the shield to block ranged attacks, and you can use it to like shove enemies off of you, which is pretty good. And then it also has this like alternate attack that you can do where like, I forget how it works exactly, but like as you're attacking stuff, you build up a charge on it, and then when you activate it, the Arbiter or Arbitrator smacks the shield, and it emits a giant electrical blast that like stuns everything in front of it for a little bit, and then you can just go to town on them and just like hit them hella hard. So recommendations and stuff to level up first. It's going to be the Shock Maul, Suppression Shield with Shock Maul, and as a third one, it's a toss up between the Shock Maul itself or well, I already have a Shock Maul here. What am I talking about? Uh, yeah, either Shock Maul. I actually have two of them. I forget they're just different skins. Shock Maul or the Tac Axe, but I think I might lean more towards the Tactical Axe, just because it doesn't have any like fancy animation that'll lock you in place. That usually gets me kills. So I wouldn't recommend use that first. So yeah, those are my top picks. Rabid Shock Maul, Suppression Shield, and the Tactical Axe. Okay, moving right along, we're gonna talk about the what I consider to be like a hybrid class. So something that can do a little bit of everything. So the first one, some people might disagree with me on this, but it's going to be the veteran. Now the veteran is known for being like primarily dominant on ranged combat, but depending on how you build out, the veteran, they can actually be pretty decent in melee range. They got a bunch of different like passives that can make them hit harder. Uh, they can also do a little bit of support when they do a shouting ability. You can like revive people with that. You can replenish everyone's toughness. And I forget what exactly they can do for melee. Was it this one? No, that's just for shooting. Oh, right. I forgot the veteran has infiltrate. So it's kind of like stealth mode for them. They can like sneak around and then they can deal a lot of damage to a single target. At least that's how I understand that one to work. But their true strength really does lie with ranged combat. They have abilities to give them extra ammo, deal extra damage with range. They also have access to one of the best grenades in this game, which is the crack grenade. It can pretty much one-hit kill all the enemies in the game that are not like elite or not elite, not boss monsters and not like boss level enemies. It's like everything that you can see in let's just go back to this Psychanium. I always get that name mixed up. Just to show you real quick. Come on and run faster. So everything that you can see in here, that crack grenade is going to be able to like one hit kill them. These freaks right here, goodbye. Okay, where's this? There you go. The big Ogryn, goodbye. You can even like toss it like a couple of feet away from him. It should lock on some. So let's see if that works. So you look at that. Holy hell. And depending on your build, you can sometimes get a chance to throw 2 grenades at once for free. So the next big badass enemy that you can encounter that's not a boss, this dude. Goodbye. Alright? And those are just all the generic freaks that you'll fight. So yeah, that's the power of the crack grenade. They're a master of ranged combat, but they can also be considered a jack of all trades. Again, depending on how you build your loadout, right? The weapons that the veteran can use are. Let's take a look at their melee gear. They also get access to, chainsaw and all these other things we've seen before, right? We've seen all these already. I would not recommend any of them, except again for like the dueling sword because it's just so OP. Some people might say no to the power falchion, but I feel like wait, that's not a generic one. The combat blade. Yeah, that's the other one that might be pretty good in the hands of a veteran. So those are 2 I recommend for the generic weapons. But what about the ones specific to, say, the veteran? First one is going to be we got the snapper shovel, but it's not really that good. But the first one we should mention here is like the power sword. Just like any other, like the other power weapons, like the shock maul, thunder hammer, crusher, it has a power ability. Take a few swings, and in those few swings, you'll be dealing a significant amount of damage. So it's great at cleaving. However, I do struggle. This might just be me, but I do struggle like closing out kills with this weapon. It's just, I don't know. It feels like it doesn't deal enough damage to put down a group of heretics when you're not using the empowered state. But still pretty good. A lot of people still recommend it. The other one is, where is it? Oh, the power falchion. It's this weird in between state of like not as good as like a power sword, but I feel like, at least to me, it can hit a little bit harder for longer. Because I think it has this, instead of only getting a few swings with it before you gotta, empower it again, it has like the heat management system, similar to the relic blade, where like you can keep swinging with it. The more you swing with it, the more damage you can deal with it. Um, so yeah, some people will probably disagree with that, but hey, each their own. I think this would be still a pretty decent weapon to start leveling up and train with it. And I think that's all there is to it. Might be missing one actually. Oh yeah, I am missing one. Where is it? Hello. Did I just delete it because like I never want to see it again? Oh no, there you go. The heavy sword. I actually haven't talked about this one yet. I think it might have also been on the veteran, but don't even bother leveling this thing up. It sucks so much ass. Basic attacks suck. The special attack sucks. There's nothing good about the heavy sword. It might be okay on like the easiest difficulty, but as soon as you try to take it out to like heresy and beyond, you're just gonna get overwhelmed with the amount of enemies coming at you, and you're not able to put them down. Okay, but what about the ranged weapon? So the generic stuff, you get the infantry lasgun and some of the other returning things that you might see here. Some of the best ones to use, I like recommend leveling up first. Is going to be the heavy las pistol, both the bolt variant weapons, so bolt gun, bolt pistol, just because they can like hit really hard against armored opponents. Uh, oh yeah, so I guess that's it for all the generic stuff besides the recon lasgun. Like I love using the recon lasgun on any class. So that might be a little biased, but again, the recon lasgun can shoot very fast and it can take care of crowds no problem. So if you're like into like doing gun fu fighting, this is probably the best one you want to stick with first. But going to the class specific stuff, plasma gun's really good. Uh, it operates similarly to the bolt guns, like it can deal a significant amount of damage to armored opponents. But the cool thing about the plasma gun, why I recommend you should consider trying this out first, is that it can go through obstacles. Like, say for example, if like a bench is in your way, I'm pretty sure you can like shoot through it and it'll hit the thing behind it. So if a heretic's hiding behind a garbage can or a bench, shoot the plasma gun at it. It should go through that object and hit them. Now, as kind of like a special call out that nobody truly ever appreciates because it kind of sucks, but if you want a challenge and you want something that can hit kind of hard, check out the Hellbore lasgun. It's a special call out here because uh, that's the only like sniper-ish kind of weapon that we have in a game so far until the Skitarii comes out with like their stuff, right? So if you want the thing that does the most damage, go to your marks. You might need to level this up a little bit to unlock it, but I think it's got to be the 4. Yeah, it's the Mark 4 version. The only thing is that the bayonet attack, it's not very good. Oh, I'm already here.
You are pitiful.
She said I'm beautiful. No way. You gotta get out more, lady. I'm hideous. Alright, so with this weapon, just to give a special nod to this weapon, like let's just back up all the way here. So you go into your aim down sight mode, you hold down the attack button, you see that thing charge up, and look at that, it deals a lot of damage, right? But the only downside is that the long charge time, right? So, boom, one hit kill that Reaper. Glorious. What about this guy? Deals a lot of damage, right? See this mutant charging you? No problem. 2 hits. So it's pretty nice, pretty cool. This is the bayonet attack. I don't really like it because you do a slashing attack. It takes forever to wind up. If you want to use this weapon and you like to have the challenge of kind of sniping, let me see. Is it this one that has the better animation? Oh yeah, this is the one. It just literally stabs, as it should. So you can kind of mess up with the armored guys. It takes a few hits, right? But as you can see right away, the animation, it's much better, quicker, and I think it does more damage. You can also just shoot unpowered, like that, or you can like hold it down. It kind of works the same, right? So that's just a special one that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, There you go. That's the veteran, the semi-hybrid character. But what about the other hybrid character? Because there's one more, and that's going to be the Hive Scum. All right, so I truly believe that the Hive Scum class is like really is a jack of all trades. It can literally do a little bit of everything. It can be good in melee combat, it can be good in ranged combat, and it's the only class that has a freaking rocket launcher. It can kill a whole group of elite and specialist enemies. But the thing with this class, though, it's the second DLC character for the game, so you have to pay to unlock it, unfortunately. With the Hive Scum, uh, you have to know that they are very, very squishy. What? Disconnected from the server again? What's going on? Let me in! What's wrong with you? Did this to me the other day. I don't know why. But with the Hive Scum, they have abilities where like you can poison multiple targets. You can use your rocket launcher to kill a bunch of things all at once. You got abilities to let you recover ammo whenever someone else, like I think, finds some. They share it with you. If you really want like a gun-fu fighter class, uh, this is the class you want to do it on. I mean, the veteran can kind of do that too, and do ammo replenishment, but I think the Hive Scum might be able to do it a little bit better because they actually have an activated ability where it gives you free ammo. So, yeah, it's pretty good, right? So, as far as weapons goes, like you should also know that this is like a high skill level kind of class. So, if you are not really like invested in Hive Scum, or if you feel like it's going to be too hard for you to play, just get it later. Get the basics down with the base characters first before you make the purchase on this guy. Because with this class, most people will say like it's either you love it or you hate it, right? And I mean, I can agree with them. You either really like it or you don't, because like a heretic can just sneeze on you and you would die, right? That's just how physically weak a Hive Scum character is. Unfortunately, right? They're cool thematically. They got cool gameplay mechanics. They got their own personal stim supply to make them either attack faster, reduce their cooldowns faster, and I forgot what the other branch is. But what's this one? Oh, they could just make themselves stronger and deal more damage to single targets. And yeah, I mean, they get their own little talent tree just for that. It's pretty cool. But the weapons, though, all the generic weapons, I forgot what they have. They all kind of suck, except for the combat blade. So out of all the generic weapons, I'd say the combat blade is the best one that you can use. Maybe the tack axe. I actually haven't used it on them yet. So give it a try if you end up getting this character and let me know. But I do have a decent amount of experience with the combat blade. Going into their class-specific weapons, well, we can just talk about the bone saw first. So, with the bone saw, you're either gonna really like it or you're really gonna hate it. because it has this really slow attack animation. And if you're trying to fight off a horde of enemies, you're not going to be able to cleave through multiple enemies at once. I think it really just hits one target at a time, so you need to be really, really careful. But this thing makes up for it by applying poison to enemies, so you get you get two types. One is for armor opponents, and one is for unarmored. And I forget, they're color coded, but I forgot which colors go for which. But that's the bone saw. And the more you hit something that's been poisoned, the more damage you take from the poison. Pretty gnarly. The next one is the crowbar. So if you want to be like Harry and Marv from Home Alone, use it. Um, the alternate attack with this is pretty much using the hook end of the crowbar to snatch and hook enemies towards you. It's going to stun them for a little bit, and that's going to allow you to follow up with like a dodge to get out of there, or follow it up with a really big heavy attack. I think this thing can hit multiple enemies at the same time, so uh, it's decent, but I would actually prefer using the shivs, just because it can deal significant amount of damage in one hit. Um, And depending on the blessings that you take, you can make things bleed when you don't hit a weak spot. So it's fast, it's nimble. You're not going to be able to hit multiple opponents at once all too well, but you can take on single opponents very easily with the shivs. So yeah, recommend the shivs. And where I don't have one, but the combat blade, so the generic knife, and then the crowbar. Though this is preferential, I don't personally like it, but a lot of people have great results using the bone saw, so that could be something that you want to consider using too, but just remember, you're not going to be able to hit a lot of things at once with this. At least that's from what I remember about it when I was using it. Ranged weapons. So you can see a lot of the stuff is the same here. We can get a list here. Probably show it easier. So you get a lot of the same generic weapons, but out of all of them, I recommend using the Shredder Auto Pistol. Just because it can shoot out a lot at once and it does a lot of damage. The bolt pistol, and that's it. Everything else kind of sucks. Let's see. Generic stuff is done. So class specific stuff. Dual auto pistols, they can become very unwieldy. Because the recoil is very, very high on this weapon. So if you're someone that's struggling with like aiming just in general, I probably wouldn't want you to use the dual auto pistols. Just maybe try out the regular shredded auto pistol first and go from there. So, yeah. However, the best ranged weapon that they have is the needle pistol. So semi-automatic, it's like the bone saw. It can deliver two different types of poison, and you need to manually choose them. So you can poison armored targets, you can poison unarmored targets, and the more you hit them with the needle pistol, the more damage they'll take from the poison, and a faster rate as well. So yeah, I think that's it for the Hive Scum. Right? Yeah, I think I got everything. Oh boy, I need to take a sip of water. Alright, where's the Psyker at? Here we go. We're gonna talk about the last class for the game here. The complete opposite end of the spectrum for melee. So, the Psyker typically excels very, very well in ranged combat. They have a lot of different abilities that they can use to attack at range. They can do lightning blast from their hands. They can what's the other one? They can throw psychokinetic daggers, and they can even burst the heretic's head open with brain burst. So those are some of the things that you can use as part of ranged combat, but they also for their other stuff, right? They have things where they can create shields for the team. They can, when you kill an elite, they can set them on fire, and then it spreads to other heretics that are close to them. So they can do a little bit of crowd control in that regards to AoE damage. And they're like the Hive Scum, they have a very high skill ceiling. And let me see. Let's switch to this real quick. They have a high skill ceiling, not just because they're also like super squishy, but they also have this resource management thing that you need to kind of like consider when you're playing as them. They call it peril. So if you're using something like your class abilities, right? Like this is the psychokinetic daggers that you can throw. Not really good at armored opponents. You see that number in the middle of the screen? If I go to like 100% and I do one more attack, my character here, you can see they suffer from an attack from the warp, I guess. And normally, if you don't have certain talent points unlocked and you're using them, you get put into a knocked down state, you're incapacitated, and you take a wound, which cannot be recovered unless you use med stim on yourself or you go to a medicate station. So just build it up again real quick. You can do, to get rid of the peril, it goes away by itself naturally, like you're seeing here. Or, let's just build it up again. You can use the reload button and it'll quell the peril, right? So if you use a staff, it also uses your psychokinetic abilities. Builds up peril like that, right? So again, goes down by itself, but you can reload, use a reload button to get rid of it. And this gameplay mechanic, it can be a lot for new players to like manage, especially when the game is throwing like tons and tons of like freaks at you. So again, like I mentioned earlier in this video, this game is very fast-paced, and it's typically going to send a lot of enemies at you at once to try to overwhelm you. Okay? But, like the Hive Scum, it's like you go all in, and if you can like master them, oh man, you're going to be like dancing around these heretics, no problem. And you're going to have a lot of fun once you like once you understand the ins and outs of how these classes work. But let's talk about the weapons. We already talked enough about like their mechanic and some of their abilities and what they can offer. So generic weapons, there's a lot of repeats in here. The only one I would recommend is The dueling sword, really. The dueling sword, I like I mentioned, it's just so damn good. Maybe I can show that to you. Finally, show you why. Dueling sword, equip. Okay, this one specifically, the Mark IV, I believe. So, look at that. It deals a lot of damage when it stabs and pokes something in the weak spot. So gnarly, right? So good! Okay. That's the only generic weapon I can recommend. However, they do have class-specific weapons. The first one is going to be... where? Oh, here we go. The Blaze Force Sword. This is, I think it's like a one-hander weapon. Let me double check. Oh yeah, it's a one-hand sword. It attacks really fast, but it doesn't really do a lot of damage all at once. And it struggles with doing like hits against armored opponents. That big 1200 number there that you saw a few seconds ago is just like a critical hit. But I wouldn't recommend using this at first. Even on this Ogryn, it like struggles to put it down. Well, these little guys, no problem, right? But however, both of these force swords have an alternate attack that you can use. Like so press it right. So this one can deal a significant amount of damage to single targets with it. Whereas the great sword variant, if you put this on, it's slower attack, but you can see it. The basic attack deals more damage to armored opponents. See, so the thing with this game is like they'll like throwing armored opponents at you a lot, and then oh yeah, tangent. That's Soul Blaze right there. That's the fire that I was talking about, where like if you kill an elite or specialist, it sets everything else on fire. So it's pretty cool. But with this other weapon, the Force Greatsword, if you kill stuff, right, you see this bar that's building up on the right-hand side of the mouse cursor. So if you fill this up all the way, so let's just maybe just get some easier, faster kills. Ammo! Now it's empowered all the way, right? You can use the alternate weapon. Look at that. It deals a lot of damage, right? You can use it without it, but it's going to be dealing less damage. So again, let's just do a quick demonstration. I highly recommend getting to concentrate on using this weapon first whenever you do unlock it. Okay, so let's just empower this. There you go. See, when you put it up all the way in that gauge, it deals a lot more damage. This is also great. Just in general, you do these strength attacks, right? No problem. But the Force Greatsword is better at dealing AoE compared to the other Force Sword. So between the two, I'd say concentrate more on the Greatsword first. And both of these Force Swords have a blessing called Deflector. So it'll block melee and ranged attacks. The block cost is just going to cost you some stamina though. So this will pretty much protect you when you're getting attacked by like a gunner, but not for long though. Uh, but better than nothing compared to the other classes, right? So those are the melee weapons. Again, the recommendations are Blaze Force Greatsword, the regular Force Sword, and then the Dueling Sword. Okay, but what about the ranged weapons? Well, they also get access to some of the guns, and they can do pretty well again with the bolt guns because it can just deal significant amount of damage to armored opponents. The heavy last pistol's really good with them too. Well, here's the one I have for it. All the auto guns, they just kind of suck. The damage is pretty low. Except for the auto shredder pistol, it just makes up for the lack of damage. It's like sheer output, like their Recon Lasgun. Recon Lasgun's also a really good choice. But what about the Psyker-specific weapons? So let's start with not the best ones. Let's start with the crappy ones that not a lot of people use, at least in my opinion. So this one, Void Blast Force Staff. I forgot what it was. Just got to check it out. So what does this one do again? Oh yeah, this one sucks so much. See this circle? Like, you can't really hit things too far of a distance away. Like, yeah, this place is pretty close range, but like, if you need to hit something far away, you can't really do it with this ability. If you're getting sniped by a sniper that's like 2 football fields away, good luck. That's the charged up attack. But this one has this nice little psychokinetic bolt attack. Like, it deals a decent amount of damage, it can take care of snipers no problem. But this is the one that I don't think a lot of people really use at all. So I don't recommend wasting your time and resources on leveling this up. Void Blast. Void. This is also the same. There's one other staff. Void Strike. That's the one. The names are always confusing to me. But this one I think might be pretty popular with people. It's pretty much doing kind of a Kamehameha, like in Dragon Ball Z. Alright. Does a decent amount of damage. You can also aim it at someone's feet. It does this mini AoE blast. So you can slow stuff down, you can hit direct hits, no problem. Let's see, how well is it stacked to that guy? Pretty much one hit killed something over there, but I think it was already damaged. So you can see it knocks them down pretty good. What about these normal guys? Oh yeah, I forgot. It can go through multiple enemies at one time, so... Let's see. Let's see if we can hit this whole row right here. It only stops at a certain distance. But I think that's why it's super popular too, because I can hit multiple things in one straight line. Great if you're in a corridor. However, by far the two most popular one that people like using is the Inferno Force Staff and the Electrokinetic Force Staff. So if you're going to choose a staff, I recommend going with one of these first. Now the Inferno Staff is pretty interesting, but it doesn't charge up as fast as like the Electrokinetic Staff, like what we saw earlier. So let's just charge it up. It's kind of slow compared to the other one. But if you like playing with fire, this is the one you want to use. Look at that. Horrendously good. Set the world on fire. The basic attack is also pretty good too. It's the short range fire blast from your hand. So you can just like fire and forget. You can like move on to something else. And it'll deal damage over time, right? So I don't think this is very good against Ogryn's in armor at least. Yeah, not that great. But however, the one I prefer the most, it doesn't do as much damage to large crowds because each lightning fork has to hit one target at a time. So if you like crowd control, use the Inferno Staff. But if you want something else to play around with, use the Electrokinetic Force Staff. Charge up fast. Still deals a pretty good amount of damage, I believe. Look at that thing go. Right. About the guy with a shield. He jumps to multiple targets, but it doesn't deal that much damage to the secondary. But it does stun everything else that it comes into contact with, which you can kind of see here. Right? How about these guys? Right? Not bad. There we go. Just want to make sure they stay down. So, that's their charge up attack. They also have this like missile strike kind of thing. It does pretty good amount of damage. So unlike the Inferno Staff, it can go long range. If like you see a sniper, you can use it to take care of them. So yeah. Sometimes when people are doing this though, they spam it too much and then they forget about the peril. So just be careful. Keep an eye on that. You don't want to, you know, knock yourself down. Actually, I think that's all there is to the Psyker. So, alright. That's enough about me yapping about the classes and what they can offer. I know I kind of spoke more on other classes because those classes I have played a lot more of. I do enjoy those other classes I spoke more on, like the Veteran, Zealot, Psyker. But hopefully this gives you kind of like a preview of which class to play first and which weapons you should try to, you know, work on first, kind of get your feet wet in the game. Alright, so definitely before you head out, check out my other videos, the comprehensive guide on how to get your feet going for this game. So it's going to be in this video's description. Check it out. And if you want to see gameplay of me playing this, you can. I still have some videos here on this channel, but I have a separate Let's Play channel. So I'm trying to separate the two. So this is my gameplay tips channel, and I have like a just playing channel. So Rabid Let's Plays. That's also going to be in the video's description. Check it out. You might see something fun, cool. And like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification and change it to all. That'll let you know when I'm doing live streams and uploads. Alright. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye bye, homies.